Hey guys, Kier here from InkIQ. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of our platform. So our goal with InkIQ is to take control of your front and back office so we could handle repetitive work like customer communication, consultations, quoting, PO processing, scheduling production, ordering blank garments, and more. For us to be able to do that, two things need to happen first. We first need to integrate all the suppliers you work with so we can understand the products you carry, as well as live inventory and pricing. And two, we have to configure your imprint methods that you either do in-house or outsource, as well as your pricing and capabilities for those imprint methods. So when you're setting up your account, you'll start by connecting all the suppliers you work with. As of July 14th, 2026, these are the suppliers we currently integrate with. Every week, we're adding more suppliers. If there's a supplier that's missing from InkIQ, you could manually add them over here. You could also manually add products either by CSV import or by filling out this form. After you've connected all your suppliers, you're going to want to configure your product insights. Now, because across these various suppliers, there are tens of thousands of different products, you may sell the same 5 t-shirts over and over again. So you'll basically search the product up, let's say the Gildan 6500. You'll click Add Note. You'll mark it as a preferred product, and then you'll give it AI training notes. So if we look at the Gildan 6400, for example, I gave it a substantial number of notes. This basically teaches our system how to sell this product in which case scenario. So if we say this is a great soft style t-shirt for summer camps, when a summer camp reaches out to you by email and they're unsure what t-shirt they want, our system will be able to properly recommend the Gildan 6400. After that, you'll configure your blank product pricing and markups. So you can configure different pricing profiles. So let's say you sell blanks to any contract customers. You could have a specific pricing profile for your contract customers or customer specific pricing profile. We'll just leave it as is for now. Now, in your default markup, you could either go with a flat markup. So I have mine set to 50% across all products in my database, or we could do a cost-based tier. So for example, products that cost me $0 to $10, I'll put a 100% markup. Products that cost me $10.01 to $25, I'll put a 75% markup, etc. Next up, we'll configure our rush premiums on blanks, then our quantity breaks on blanks, and then product specific pricing. So let's say for the Gildan 6400, I want to override our default price. I could override it. After you've configured your products, we're going to go ahead and configure your imprint methods and capabilities. So these are the imprint methods that come stock with InkIQ. If you want a specific imprint method, reach out to us and we can build it out for you. As we grow, we're going to keep adding more imprint methods as well. So right now, my account supports screen printing and embroidery. I'll go ahead and configure my screen printing capabilities and pricing. So we'll start off by connecting all the equipment we have in our shop. So our equipment and stages, actually. So I'll add a new machine. What type of equipment is it? So we'll say manual press. We'll give it a name. We'll fill out the brand details. How many colors? Let's say it's a 6-color press. What are the pallet sizes? So this is basically going to teach our system what print sizes you're able of handling on this machine. This is going to help with AI production scheduling later on, as well as when a customer reaches out asking for, let's say, a 20-inch wide print. If your machines can only handle 16 inches wide, our system recognizes that and can communicate that with the customer. We'll also configure the ink types and capabilities we offer on this press, as well as locations, order capacity, and different throughput scenarios. So because it's a 6-color press, we'll have to fill out 6 different throughput scenarios. So we have pieces per hour, how much time is it going to take to set up a 1-color job, and how much time is it going to take to take down. This basically teaches our system how to calculate jobs when we're sending them to production. Then we have your operational schedule and blackout dates. So let's say your shop is closed down from during the Christmas holidays, you could set that up over there. If you have many machines and you just want to duplicate them, you could copy machines easily like that. After you've configured your equipment and stages, we'll go ahead and configure your screen printing pricing. So like the blank goods, we could configure different pricing profiles. So you could have a pricing profile for your retail customers, contract customers, and then specific customers. We'll start off by configuring our pricing grid. If you charge differently for second locations or third locations, you could add second and third location pricing. This is unlimited, actually. So if we add a third location, we'll also be able to add a fourth location. We'll configure our setup fees. So vectorizing artwork, how do we want to charge this? A flat fee or per color? Let's go with flat. Screen charges, we'll do this one per color. Then we have specialty upcharges over here, print location add-ons over here. So do we want to, for this sleeve print, do we want to charge a flat $2.50 per item? Or do we want to charge something like, we'll charge an additional 15% markup on sleeves. So you could configure that how you want. Next up, we'll set our turnaround time. So this is our standard turnaround time on screen printing. And then we have our rush tiers with premiums over here. Then we have our customer requirements over here. So does your shop require a vector file? If not, do you want to charge for non-vector logos? Same thing for mockup requirements. We have many contract customers who require their clients to provide mockups, so you can configure that here. This way, when a customer reaches out and they're missing their mockups, our system will realize that and it will respond saying, "Hey, send us over your mockups. We can't accept this order without you sending them over." Next up, we'll configure our outsource partners in the case that let's say you only print 12 colors in-house, but you have an outsourced partner that can handle up to 18 colors. This way you don't miss out on any of those 18 color jobs. Or if you're a promotional product distributor and don't offer screen printing in-house, you could just set your outsourced partners here. So this is an example of a partner. The form is very similar to the screen printing machine form. Now, keep in mind, I just showed you our screen printing capabilities. Embroidery is basically the same thing, but adjusted for embroidery. Now, after you've configured your blank apparel and your imprint methods, our system's able to start answering emails and performing tasks for you. So I'll show you how the emails works. When an email comes in, our system automatically analyzes it and puts it in the appropriate folder. So a purchase order will go to the purchase order folder, and when our system analyzes a quote inquiry, it'll go over to quote inquiries. So we received this email here from Will Maloof. He's requesting t-shirts. Now, we know he needs 500 t-shirts for his construction company. We have a few details, but not enough details to be able to actually help him out and send over a quote. So we'll click on reply all. Let me clear this already generated response. Let's draft a new AI reply, see what it comes out with. So, hi William, thank you for reaching out to us for your t-shirt order. I have a few questions to finalize your quote. So our system's trying to understand the garment style that he wants. Do you have any preferences for a t-shirt? I recommend a Gildan 5000 for a budget-friendly option. Decoration method, artwork, timeline, etc. So our system's very conversational. It understands what the end goal is, and that end goal is basically to collect all the information from the customer to be able to provide options and provide a quote. Once we've collected all that information, you'll see a little button pop up here so you could generate a quote directly from this email page. Right now, I'll show you how we manually create a quote in our system. So we'll go over to quotes. We'll click on new quote. We'll select a customer. Let's go with forward. Then we'll select a contact for this customer. Then we'll start populating our line items. So let's say a Gildan, let's go with a Gildan hoodie in sports gray. 12, 24, 24, 6. Now, our pricing with Sanmar for this product from small to extra large is $14.76, but then the 2XL comes out to $17.73. So we see currently we have products from small to XL in our cart. So the pricing field is displaying as $14.76. If we add any double XLs, that price is going to adjust. So our system basically takes the median price across all products. So now that we've added a line item, we'll go ahead and add an imprint. There are two ways of adding imprints through our system. You could either add a fresh imprint from start. So you'll select the imprint method that you offer, and then you'll just fill out this form. Or you could select an existing imprint from our library. So every time you add a new imprint to the system, that imprint gets saved to an imprint library and it gets filtered by customer. So let's go with, where is it? Let's go with this Polytechnic logo. So when we put the Polytechnic logo in, our system automatically filled everything up. So in the past, I never really put any details for this logo. Let's say it's a 5-color logo, and for this order, we want to charge for screens, color separations, and let's just charge for a back print, because why not? We see our customer provided art is already populated. Our production ready files from the previous job is here. And then our proofs and mock-ups that are attached to the imprint are here. If we ever took production notes in the past, the production notes would also be displayed over here. So we could see what worked in the past, what didn't work, what to do differently next time. And if we ever took notes like separation notes, so what mesh count did we use for screen 1, what was our squeegee angle, our squeegee pressure, etc., we would see all those notes populate over here. We also see all the historical jobs associated to this imprint. So we'll go ahead, we'll save this. We see that the price changed. Our system automatically calculated all the setup fees, the new print price, etc. Right now, my account is set to display everything on one line item. If you have customers that like line items broken down and they want to see how much you're charging them for garments, see how much you're charging them for setup fees, etc., we could configure that as well. I'll show you how to do that. Let's save this quote first. We'll go over to order templates. And again, you could have different order templates for different customer types. We'll go down to item display. Currently, it's set to combined. We're going to click on separate, and we're going to choose what we want to separate. I don't want to show them our the markup we're putting on our garments still. We have many customers that sell to churches, and when they sell to churches, they like to be transparent and show them how much money they're making. That's why we have this option. So we'll go ahead, we'll save this. We'll go back to that quote. And now we see everything was broken down. Just going to change it back because that's how I prefer it. All right. Now we want to send this quote to the customer. So we have our statuses over here, which you could customize however you like. Now I created an automation that says when I change status to quote sent, send an email to the customer with a quote attachment and a quote approval buttons attached. So we'll change the status to quote sent. The customer receives this email with an email template. So please approve this quote. We'll view quote. They view all the details over here. You could even attach terms and conditions. I just attached a poor file. That's why we're not seeing it. So they see all the details over here, and they could either approve the quote, request changes, or decline. We'll go ahead and approve. Confirm. They see their approval over here and their signature. They could download or print. Now, over on your end, we see that the status automatically changed to artwork proofs, and we see the customer's signature and approval over here. So I had another automation set up that says when the customer approves and signs this quote, automatically change the status to artwork proofs. Now in artwork proofs, we have a preset task which got applied, and the order also changed from a quote to an order. So if we look at this task here, it says attach mockups. So currently we attach the mockups to our imprint. If we want, we could also attach the mockups to the line items. So we'll go ahead and do that. Attach mockups, choose file, and we'll upload it. So right now we have a mockup there and a mockup there. We'll check this task off as complete. And we see that our status automatically changed to artwork approval. And now our customer received another email asking them to approve artwork this time. So it's similar to the quote approval email. The customer will go ahead and approve the artwork. And our status changed to deposit request. And now our customer received another email prompting them to pay a deposit. Through InkIQ, you could set up different payment terms for different customers and different customer types. So you could have one payment term for your retail customers, one payment term for your contract customers, or a specific payment term for any customer. I'll show you how we set that up. So over in payments, you'll go to payment terms. You'll start by configuring your different payment terms. So in our account, we have a 100% payment term with a full payment milestone. And then we have a 50-50 term with a 50% deposit and a 50% balance. We'll then head over to automations and create an automation that triggers a payment term. So we'll give the automation a name. We'll we'll select which customer this automation applies to. So does it apply to all customers' orders, a retail customer, a contract customer, or a specific customer's order? So you could say for retail customers, when the status changes to deposit request, we're going to request payment. We'll select the 50/50 term, and we'll request the 50% deposit milestone, and then we choose an email template. So we'll go with the payment receipt. So this is really customizable. You could have one automation that triggers at deposit request for your retail clients to request a 50% term. And then you could have another automation for contract customers that request 100%. That's just a terrible example, but there you go. So we'll just skip the payment for now, and we'll move the order over to pre-production. So in pre-production, we have two tasks that are applied: vectorize logos and order garments. Say these logos are vectorized already because we have the production files from the last time we ran this imprint. So we'll check this off as complete. And now we have to order the garments. There are three different ways of ordering garments through InkIQ. You could either manually add items to your cart by going to products, you could search the product you want to add to your cart. So let's say the Gildan 1850. You could select your supplier and add the garment to cart. You could either create a new cart or add them to an existing cart. If you're going with Sanmar, you could add them to an existing Sanmar cart. If you're going with SS Activewear, you could add them to an existing SS Activewear cart. Or two, you could click this Add Line Items to Queue button, which will automatically create a queue. Or what we did in our case, I created an automation that says when the status of this order changes to pre-production, automatically add these line items to queue. So right now we see our garment status is in queue. These are our different garment statuses. So 18.5, let's go over to our purchase orders tab. This is our queue. We see the garments over here from Sanmar. We'll select all the garments in this cart, in this queue, and we could add them to an existing cart or create a new cart. Let's go ahead and create a new cart. A PO number is already generated. And we see the items down here. If you want to ship to a PSST decorator, or if you're a PSST decorator yourself, you just have to connect your PSST credentials into your supplier integrations. That way the PSST shipping option displays over here. So you would select the shipping option and place your order. So you could either place the order automatically via API. My personal account's not set up for that. You would have to reach out to Sanmar and request that they enable that for your API. Or you could just download the PO and place this order manually. So I'll do that. I downloaded the PO. Now we see the garments moved over to the pending tab. And back in our order, the garment status is marked as ordered. And we could see the order down here. So we see this is the PO number with Sanmar, and this is what we ordered. And then we see our supplier over here too. You can either mark the garments as received here, or you could mark the garments as received back here. So let's mark them as received. And we could even say we're missing one size XL. If we're missing a size XL, the garments, when we confirm receipt, that size XL will show up here. And when we go back to our orders, we see a missing XL piece here. And we see what was checked in. So we're short one XL. Let's resolve this issue. We'll send an email to Sanmar. We could punch in their email and generates a subject line and a message. We could send this email, and we could keep track of where we're at with these missing items. We could create a task, so we could follow up with this tomorrow. We could add them to queue, so we could reorder them from scratch, or we could just mark them as resolved. So now that the products are marked as resolved, we don't see the missing item anymore. Everything is checked in, and we are done with that. Now that we completed all those tasks, our status automatically changed to in production, and we have another automation which sent this job to production. So we'll go over to our production tab. We'll head to screen printing. And these are our unscheduled jobs up here in our different stages. So I created this production pipeline over here. So we have art prep, burn screens, mix ink, and print. You see when the job came into production, it starts off in art prep. We don't see it in burn screens nor in mix ink, but we do see it in print. So our print stage, when you're configuring your production workflow, I marked my print stage as an embellishment stage. This basically allows our system to override these steps so we can schedule production for this stage in advance. This means that burning screens and mixed ink are dependent on art prep, but they work in parallel, so they're not dependent on each other. But print overrides all that, so we could schedule it in advance. So we'll go back to production. We'll drag and drop this here. We want to do this today. And then for the print stage, we'll drag and drop it to, let's say, Thursday, or no, let's do it on July 30th, and we'll select the machine that we want to schedule it to. So we have 0 jobs scheduled on these machines. We could also auto schedule, and it'll send it to the most efficient day and machine. So let's get this job done. So now we're in art prep. We have 5 colors. So whoever is responsible for the art prep could go ahead and attach the production ready files here. The separations here, we already have them attached though, and we could give it notes. So let's pretend there's a white base, even though the logo is black. White base, blue, orange, green, etc., 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 red. So whoever's, whoops, I forgot to save it, save details. So whoever's responsible for mix ink for art prep could add their own notes over here. They could even add an extra column if they want to. Once they start working on this, I forgot to show you, they could start a timer. This way we could track how long this job takes to complete. So timer starts, then we'll stop the timer, we'll advance it to the next stage. The card is marked off as green, and we see that the job is now sent to burn screens and mixed ink. These are not dependent on each other. So we'll schedule this here, and we'll schedule this here. we'll go ahead, we'll add our own production notes. So now we're in burn screens. Let's go with a 110 mesh, a 156, 156. Let's go with 156 across the board. Forgot to start timer again. We could also pause timer and note for what reason we're pausing timer. All this data is collected in your system, so you could really get to know your data and analytics over time. It'll help you grow. So we'll complete this, and now we'll do burn screens. Oh, I forgot to save the mesh count. So it's super important that you click this save detail, or then the notes will not save. So let me just add those notes back in. Don't forget to save. We'll complete mix ink, and we'll go over to July 30th. And there are multiple different views, by the way, of the production scheduler. Right now we're in Kanban, but you could see a stacked view. You could see a Gantt chart view, whatever you like. So right now we are in July 30th. We see this job is scheduled at machine number 2. We see all our production notes, and whoever's on press could start adding their own notes here. So this is a squeegee durometer, squeegee angle, your press settings, and we could add production notes. Start timer, and then complete. And we see how long every stage took over here. So now that production is complete, I'm going to show you different things we could do within InkIQ. So the garments are all marked as complete, by the way. Now I want to show you our imprint files. So this is where your imprint files are stored. So we see your details here, design files, production notes, historic production notes. Accounting is over here. So all your invoices are set up in numerical order over here. You could create an automation that automatically triggers an invoice to be created, by the way. We have a different view of tasks over here. Our customers live over here. So let me show you what the individual customer page looks like. So you have an overview, quotes, orders, tasks, emails, imprint files, locations, tax information, customer notes. So we'll go over to all of these. Historic emails with this customer. The customer has a portal. So we'll open up that portal. Now in their portal, they can see their overdue invoices, quotes awaiting approval, artwork awaiting approval. They could submit a purchase order if they're a contract client. Statements, invoices, historic payments, quotes, orders. In orders, we could also see our historic activities. So we see our historic approvals and signatures. We see every time something happened on this order, every time someone changed a line item, an automation was triggered, the customer viewed the public quote link. Everything is logged for you to see and download. We could request payments via this tab as well. We could log payments too. We could see messages associated to this order. We could see expenses. So if you order the garments directly through the API, through InkIQ, you would see an expense is automatically created. You're able to ship this order as well. So our sender address is automatically populated, and our customer's shipping address is populated, we could select a number of boxes, configure the length, width, height, and weight of those boxes, and we could schedule a pickup. So I will drop off the package, get shipping rates. We see different shipping rates over here. You could select the courier and purchase labels. That'll schedule a shipment, and you'll be able to download labels through InkIQ. Coming very soon, we have calls. So we'll be able to provision a VoIP phone number with an AI assistant. So you could configure when the AI answers the phone versus when a human answers the phone. So you could say, I want the AI to pick up the phone after 5 p.m. and I want a human to answer the phone from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or you could have a human transfer line as well. Messages, you'll be able to integrate your Instagram and your Facebook messages. And it's handled similarly to emails. Pipeline is going to be a CRM style pipeline, and merch stores. So merch stores is coming very shortly. It should be out the door by the end of July. So you create a merch store, select what type of store are you building, and go through this quick form. It takes about 15 minutes to create a merch store. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoy InkIQ, and happy to work with you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Kyriakos@inkiq.io. That's KIRIAKOS@inkiq.io. Or you could head over to our website, inkiq.io, and fill out a free trial form. So you'll get a 14-day free trial when you sign up.